Picking up the events from the previous episode, Black Butler Season 5 Episode 6 begins with John Brown appearing before Sebastian, Michaelis and Snake to deliver a letter from His Majesty, Queen Victoria. Sebastian asks John whether he has come by horse. John is irked by the question and says he hasn't used his horse because he can't bear to see his companion face such a terrible road. During an exchange, Sebastian informs John that Ciel has fallen sick so that he will pass on the letter. However, John states that the Queen has ordered the letter to be read immediately. As such, the demon butler begins to read the letter's content, shows Sebastian astonished by what he has read. Following this, John announces his leave and instructs Sebastian to tell Ciel to take care. Likewise, Sebastian tells John Brown to be aware of the werewolves. After the Queen's aide leaves, Sebastian tells Snake that they can finally pick up pace. Elsewhere, Wolfram tells Sieglinde that it's almost time for dinner. However, Sieglinde appears slightly morose. She wonders if she can see off Ciel and the rest when they leave. Wolfram immediately rejects such an idea and says it's for the sake of her security. Sieglinde begins to cry, stating she wants to see the outside world. Yet, Wolfram remains adamant in his stance. At this moment in Black Butler Season 5 Episode 6, Sieglinde tries to go after Wolfram and falls as a result. The butler then hugs Sieglinde and apologizes. Meanwhile, Sieglinde says she will complete the ultimate spell, which shall protect everyone. The narrative for Black Butler Season 5 Episode 6 then shifts the focus to Ciel's room, where he has just awakened. At this moment, Finian opens the door and finds Sebastian Michaelis inside. Finian tells Sebastian to go away, as his presence will only scare Ciel. However, Sebastian orders Finian to leave the room for a while. He mentions that he wants to discuss something important with Ciel. Meanwhile, Ciel gets agitated by Sebastian's presence. Finian then steps in between them and urges Sebastian to leave. However, the demon butler grabs Finian and throws him out of the room. After shutting the door, Sebastian approaches Ciel, who trembles with fear. The butler informs Ciel that they have received a letter from the Queen and that they have to leave the village the next day. He menacingly tells Ciel to end his fretful act and take action. When Ciel refuses, a dark aura emits from the butler and binds the boy. Black Butler Season 5 Episode 6 then shows Sebastian Michaelis reminding Ciel Phantomhive that abandoning revenge midway is against the Faustian contract. He is displeased with how boring Ciel has become and is prepared to devour his soul. Ciel Phantomhive wonders whether he will die before fulfilling his revenge. Sebastian Michaelis' terrifying form turns Ciel petrified with fear, as he doesn't know what to do. Meanwhile, he struggles with his past memories. Black Butler Season 5 Episode 6 then explores Ciel's consciousness, where his alter ego asks him to stay with him forever. The alter ego reminds the boy that no one has ever asked him to take revenge. Ciel's alter ego also asks him why he intends to seek revenge, then shows Ciel imagining himself locked in a cage with his family, Vincent, Rachel, Angelina, Joker, and Doll, observing him intently. Ciel's alter ego reminds him that many have perished, wishing for revenge. It asks Ciel whether he wants the Ciel Phantomhive to forgive him. At this moment, the spectators' phantoms ask Ciel some pressing questions. Angelina asks him if he wants to leave his weak self behind, while Joker inquires if he wants everything to become his. Likewise, Rachel wonders whether the boy seeks revenge for her and Vincent. However, Ciel Phantomhive cannot answer any questions. At this moment in Black Butler Season 5 Episode 6, Sebastian Michaelis asks the boy why he put his soul on the line to sign the contract with him. Suddenly, Ciel remembers that he simply uses Sebastian's powers for himself. With this thought, he breaks out of the cage and runs towards Sebastian. As he runs, Vincent and other figures dissipate into thin air. Ciel then calls Sebastian's name and regains consciousness. Black Butler Season 5 Episode 6 then shows Ciel Phantomhive regaining his original senses as he stubbornly orders Sebastian to let him go. He also snaps at the demon butler and rests his leg on his shoulder. Sebastian smiles in delight as Ciel returns to his old ways. He greets him with good morning. Meanwhile, Ciel asks Sebastian whether he truly tried to eat him. Sebastian assures the boy that he was only 90% serious about eating him. Moreover, the demon butler tells Ciel that Tanaka has advised him not to take any drastic measures. Following that, in Black Butler Season 5, Episode 6, Sebastian asks Ciel why he became disoriented. At this moment, Ciel orders Sebastian to let the other servants in, as he also wants to tell them. As soon as Sebastian opens the door, the Phantom Hive servants come stumbling in. Finian notices that Ciel has recovered. He rushes toward him in joy. Sebastian grabs Finian before colliding with Ciel and thanks him for caring for his master. Finian then holds Ciel's hands and cries. After that, Black Butler Season 5 Episode 6 shows Ciel apologizing to everyone for his behavior. While the servants feel Ciel doesn't have to be sorry, the boy disagrees. He promises them that they will never see his sorry side again. Ciel Phantom Hive then asks them to serve him again. Following that, Ciel mentions how he feared even the tiniest things and completely lost control over his senses. Boldroy says it happens often on the battlefield, so it's not unnatural as such. Sebastian comments that his appearance had a massive impact when Ciel fell under the curse. He wonders whether it was a psychological blow. The demon butler then hands over Queen Victoria's letter to Ciel. The Earl notices a code written on the letter. Sebastian tells Ciel that he had the royal family conduct an experiment on a plant from the werewolf's forest, and that the magic potion had been used on Ciel since it was an emergency. As Ciel reads the analysis report, he understands the secret behind the curse. Sebastian Michaelis then informs Ciel that Sieglinde Sullivan has only acted according to the werewolf's will and is now trying to finish the ultimate spell. Just then, Ciel discovers another letter from the Queen, tucked under the previous one. As he reads the letter, he finds out that the Queen has requested Sieglinde Sullivan to have tea with her. And that wraps up Black Butler Season 5, Episode 6, where secrets begin to crack, and Ciel along with Sebastian get closer to the truth behind the so-called magic of the Emerald Witch. But as dark as things looked in this episode, Episode 7 dives even deeper. The story shifts to Sieglinde Sullivan's perspective, where she becomes consumed by the idea of completing the ultimate spell. A powerful magic she believes will create a protective miasma to save her village from werewolf attacks. Fully committed to her duty, she throws herself into her work, desperate to succeed. Meanwhile, Ciel and Sebastian's investigation leads to a horrifying discovery. The terrifying werewolves are nothing more than men in costumes, and the miasma Sieglinde is trying to perfect isn't magic at all. It's a deadly chemical weapon named Sulin. The entire legend of magic and monsters was a carefully crafted lie to control her. The truth hits Sieglinde like a thunderbolt. Everything she believed in, her entire purpose, has been a lie. She realizes that she's been manipulated into developing a tool of destruction, and the emotional toll is crushing. Her heartbreak is only made worse by the betrayal of her caretaker Wolfram, the one person she trusted. Just when it feels like there's no escape, Ciel offers her a way out, to leave the village, to use her intelligence for something good. He proposes she work on creating medicines instead of weapons, using her genius to help people rather than harm them. For the first time, Sieglinde is shown a future beyond the lies. It's an offer she never imagined, and despite her confusion and grief, she accepts it. As the episode ends, she takes her first steps into the outside world, no longer as the so-called Emerald Witch, but as a girl trying to start over.